This is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer, and we're here today with Tim Hamby, the new Executive Director of the Southeast Volusia Advertising Authority. Welcome, Tim.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, your second day on the job here at New Smyrna Beach at the Visitor Center. How's it going?
It's going good. We had a board meeting today. Everything went well. I'm being downloaded with a lot of information. I've got a lot to absorb.
Got two big stacks right here, it looks like.
This is a couple of the stacks. There's actually more of them.
So, Tim, your expertise obviously is marketing, communications, and brand development. What does that mean in layman's terms?
It's basically all the components that you need for marketing and promotion. It begins with the brand, developing a clear, succinct brand that speaks to what you're marketing, and then it's putting the brand out there, utilizing all the channels that are available, new media, traditional media, public relations, and getting those things to work together.
Sounds like a lot of work, but I guess that's what I brought you in to do the big job here.
Yeah.
This is your second day on the job here at New Smyrna Beach.
Mm-hmm.
You're from Ponte
Vedra Beach, correct.
Yeah. And how does that compare to New Smyrna Beach and what you've been able to assimilate?
It's quite a bit different. It's a bit more of a resort area. It's where the PGA's headquartered, the ATP.
It's not that far from Jacksonville, right?
It is a part of the 5-county area. It's in St. Johns County, Florida. There is, some overlap in terms of there's beautiful natural areas and beautiful beaches, of course. But the dynamic of what is New Smyrna Beach and the surrounding area here is a bit different, than what we have up there.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the marketing and the other aspects of your job as the new director of the Ad Authority, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about something that's near and dear to you in New Smyrna Beach that you can relate to from back home.
Yeah, well, you would be speaking of surfing,
Exactly.
certainly. So I'm a lifelong surfer. Been doing it for a good while. And I used to, I finished school at University of Central Florida and would come to New Smyrna Beach all the time, surf down by the jetties.
And your wife has family here at New Smyrna
Yes,
Beach.
yeah, my in-laws live in Tavares, so I'm very familiar with the area. I lived here for a while. I'm back and forth, here quite often.
How long have you been surfing?
I've been surfing for about 30 years.
And you're what, 48?
I'm 48, yeah.
So you started
And so probably a little more than that, maybe 34 years or so.
So before you became a teenager.
That's correct, yeah, high school.
How does, we're known for being the shark bite capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say it's Volusia County, but I can tell you 99% of the shark bites are here in the South Jetty.
Yeah,
here at New
right by
Smyrna
the jetty.
Beach. That seems to be the best place to surf. How does the surf there compare to up in the Jacksonville area?
Basically, Smyrna is always a foot and a half bigger than what you're going to find in my area. On any given day, if it's flat up in Jack's area, you got a good chance of coming to Smyrna and being able to to catch a 2-foot wave. And that holds true for most swells. It's always probably a foot and a half bigger.
Now, I have a photo of you from your Facebook page where you were surfing off the coast of Costa Rica. I don't think anybody would be able to confuse the waves there with what's here. Much more pronounced.
That was a good day at a place called Playa Negra in Costa Rica, but certainly the waves get big here on hurricane swells. Maybe once or twice a year if we're fortunate. So the waves do get really big here. In fact, some of the biggest waves I've ever surfed in my life were out at Smyrna during one period of time, October, back in the early 90s. They called it the Halloween swell, I believe it was. Really big.
What are some of the more exotic places tell us some of the places you've been surfing.
I've surfed a lot of places in Central America. I've been to Costa Rica a few times. I've been to Barbados. I've been to Dominican Republic. I've been all over the Bahamas. I've surfed in different spots in Mexico.
Any other continents?
No, I've not been over to, say, Australia or to Europe.
Or South Africa?
Or South Africa, no.
Why the fascination with surfing on your part? You seem to be really into it.
I'm a third generation native of Florida. I was born by the beach and grew up by the beach and love it. It's one of the things that I'm so excited about, you know, with this job is combining those passions for marketing, communications, and you know, the whole Florida coastal experience. So you know, I love it and still love it.
Yeah, your coastal experience with marketing is something that really drew the attention of the Advertising Authority Board in terms of wanting to get you on board.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about some of the aspects of what you do with that coastal marketing and some of the branding issues, briefly.
Well, my past is marketing communications largely. It's one step over from tourism. It was a real estate development. We did a lot of the largest master plan communities in Northeast Florida.
What they call new communities, right? These
new towns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, some with their own zip codes, very big. You know, up to 6,400 acres.
Some
in
with
size.
their own schools.
Yes, with their own schools, straddling county lines, big properties. And the idea behind it, you know, bringing people in, it's very much the same as it is destination marketing, except you know, you have to identify what are the unique assets of the area, communicate those to people, and convince them, you know, not only to come there to check it out, but ultimately there to put out roots, to live there, to make a decision to live there. And those are all based on things, you know, everything from man-made amenities to natural amenities. So it's very closely related in the patterns of where they come from in terms of tourism and real estate. There's a lot of crossover.
Now, some people may not realize what the Ad Authority does. You're one of 3 in Volusia County.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in Daytona, one in DeLand. The biggest one's in Daytona. There's a smaller one in DeLand. And then, of course, here at New Smyrna Beach.
That's correct.
Where you're based here at the Visitor Center. I guess the way it works is taxes are collected, bed taxes from overnight stays at
Mm-hmm.
hotels and accommodations and things like that. And then you take the money and you develop tourism.
Correct.
What would you say is your number one goal as you speak today, only second day on the job?
It's to increase bed nights here, to increase visitors, to raise the profile of Southeast Volusia County, you know, and promote our area and win bed nights in our area and visitors to this area who spend their money here and come back.
Do you feel it's more of a challenge in a smaller community like New Smyrna, Port Orange area, Edgewater, where you don't have the big hotels like you would have in Daytona Beach? This is more of a family-oriented destination, but you do have a lot of activities.
Well, it's an advantage and a disadvantage. You know, if there's a lack of accommodations or not as many, you're obviously working against a disadvantaged area like, you know, if it's Daytona that has, you know, can accommodate quite a few people. But then again, if people stay in those areas and you know, they come in to visit New Smyrna or they want a different experience
Right.
here, you know, then you can leverage that difference. You know, so it's the things. You know, there's things here that make New Smyrna Beach and the surrounding area, Edgewater, you know, Port Orange, those things a unique destination, and those are the things we want to leverage.
With that said about the difference in the tourism levels with urban versus more of a family setting, it seems a lot like New Smyrna Beach, Greater New Smyrna Beach, is kind of in the shadow of Daytona Beach and some of these other communities. Identify those bigger entities that stand in the way and how you can harness that.
Yeah, well, you definitely you've got Daytona and the Speedway, world's most famous beach, up to your north. You've got Kennedy Space Center, Canaveral Seashore down to your south, and you've got Disney out west. You can leverage it because they've, you know, those are international destinations, and people are coming here, you know, for those things. And you can ride on coattails to some extent and grab visitors from there. And while also, and this is definitely something Southeast Volusia County needs to do, simply raising your hand and making it known that, hey, we're a destination, and we have a whole different set of offerings. It's unique, it's natural, it's more relaxed, laid back, more real, and they need to do that.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to offer racing fans, hey, come to New Smyrna Beach while you're here for the Daytona 500. People seem to think that, oh no, that's Daytona's event. What's your feeling on that?
No, I think that you need to leverage on those opportunities, and if I'm going to visit someplace for a week or more, I want a different menu of things to do, and I want different experiences, and I think that that's a trend in travel right now, and so I think that's definitely something that New Smyrna should seize upon. They do have, their own set of qualities to offer people, and it just needs to be, the profile of it needs to be raised. This area just needs to let people know what we have here available.
And there's always this talk about, day trippers, Orlando, like you said, Canaveral, Kenny Space and a Disney, on Daytona Beach. How much of an effort you think needs to be made to get more people from Canada, from the Northeast, New England, New York,
I think that,
even Europe, Germany, Britain, Great Britain?
When you market, the further out you go and try and reach, the more expensive it gets. So you can go try and grab people from those markets and bring them down, but sometimes it can be more efficient if they're already in market to grab them when they're in market. The Canadians do come down here
So
regularly.
the idea is to draw them into what we have. So in talking about drawing people from other parts of, greater areas where they would require to fly in, for example, whether they're from Germany or Great Britain or Canada or even the Northeast or in other areas of the country. What other tools are available that are not as expensive as traditional?
Well, of course, there's a lot of options, but certainly internet is cost-efficient marketing, social media, and those are definitely things that we'll want to leverage. PR, which is frankly perceived as more credible than advertising. So those are definitely three main cogs. With the web being the hub of the wheel, the hub of the marketing wheel, always, these days. So that's something we'll be looking at closely.
Well, it's kind of ironic that New Smyrna Beach's new ad director at the Visitor Center is a surfer. And of course, the internet newspaper here in New Smyrna Beach is called Headline Surfer. So there's a good combo there. So for Tim Hamby, the new director of the Southeast Volusia Advertising Authority, this is Henry Frederick, and thank you for having us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.